Hello.
Hello, guys.
Welcome back to episode 12. 12.
Episode 12. Yeah, it's getting hard to keep track of how many we're at now. Like, we're starting to get up there.
Yeah,
you know?
we're getting
We're starting
there.
to get up there.
This episode is coming to you a bit earlier than usual.
Yeah. You might notice something different.
Yeah.
Something different. I don't know. Do you know what it is? I can't tell what it is.
I don't know. Someone tell us.
I don't know. No, yeah, we're going to try and now get a faster turnaround on episodes. And we're going to try and get them to you every Friday morning now. So ready for your final day commute into the office or wherever you're heading on a Friday.
Ready to jumpstart that weekend.
Ready to get that weekend fired off. Yeah, we're going to try to as best we can.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it might be a little bit hard. I do usually edit the podcast episodes for both the YouTube and the audio side. But I'm also back at uni this semester and things. You know, I'm traveling to and from campus. So it honestly doesn't take me that long, but I am hoping that I can get them up for you guys in time. There might be one or two delays here sometimes, or I can pass off something to Jens if need be. But for the most part, you should be getting episodes on Fridays for now, which is quite exciting.
Yeah.
You know, faster news turnaround and stuff like that, which is what we were after.
Hopefully you guys like that, because I felt like felt like the news that we were doing were coming out kind of like a week too late.
It was very delayed. Yeah. Very delayed.
Hopefully this will be a nice change for everyone. Hopefully it's not too drastic of a change. But yeah.
No.
Shall we get on with the topics? Because today is a thick boy.
Yeah, this is going to be a chonky episode. Chonky. I just want to start off by saying as well, today we're recording on Wednesday the 24th. So all of the news topics that we are sort of reporting on this week, most of them are from this morning or yesterday. So, you know, this is another reason why we wanted to get that out on Fridays, is because they're nice and early for you guys then, so you're not missing too much. Which I guess leads us perfectly into our first topic, because this is one that I sort of snuck in towards the beginning. Watch Dogs Legion is getting a free play this weekend. So it's starting on the 25th of March here for us in Australia. And you'll be able to play it for free for, I think, 3 days. I think it'll end on Monday night or Tuesday morning on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. So whichever you sort of prefer, give Watch Dogs Legion a go. You know, it's been on my list for a little while. I haven't picked it up yet, so this might be the perfect opportunity for me to give it a little test and see if I enjoy it enough to.
Is this the second
pick it up?
Watch Dogs or the first one?
No, Watch Dogs Legion is the third one. This is the third one.
Oh, it's the third one.
So
okay.
It's the newest one.
Oh wow! And it's having a free play this week. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
played
not sure
any.
what the reasoning was for it. But you know, they're giving it a go. So.
Yeah. Following on, Sony is apparently closing down PlayStation 3, PSP, and the PS Vita stores this winter.
Yeah.
I don't own any of those, so it doesn't really
affect me that much. Yeah, no. There was also another thing that they were closing down, I think the PlayStation 4, I think it's called Communities or something. I'm not too sure exactly what it was, but a lot of people seem to agree that they don't really care that they're closing that down either, just for the fact that no one really used it.
You're right. I haven't even heard it.
Me neither. So that's why I'm like, I can see why they're closing it down.
Yeah.
But sort of just on this topic, it's presumed that those that have, like, we don't know as well either. This is all sort of speculation at the moment. Sony hasn't actually come out and said, yes, we are closing these stores down. But a lot of reports are coming out at the moment. So you can pretty safely bet that they are going to do that. But it's presumed that players that have already purchased things on the PlayStation 3 or PSP store or on the PlayStation Vita store, as long as you still have access to the account and you can still, you know, turn on your console or handheld or whatever it might be, you'd still be able to download those games that you've purchased in the past. You just won't be able to buy and download anything, you know, new, I say in quotations. So like if you wanted to get a DLC pack or something, you won't be able to do that anymore. So if there's something you've been waiting to get for whatever reason on these stores, I would suggest buying them as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I imagine stores like EB Games / JB Hi-Fi will still
100%.
be holding
They're
these
still
games.
going to have tons of physical games. Yeah.
Obviously, probably not as big of a library as the online store.
I haven't seen,
to
be fair with you, I haven't seen that many PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 games in my local EB Games for a solid while. Like, I think they do still have a section, but it's very small.
It's very small, yeah.
Yeah, considering that PlayStation 4 and, Xbox One and all that have been out for the better part of 8 years now, or 9 years nearly. So,
Yeah, and they're going to make that room for the PS5 games that are coming out. So, yeah.
All the new shit. Yeah,
Makes
all
sense.
the new shit.
It's new gen.
It does.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Moving on, again, more game topics. But Amazon this week, we're going back to Amazon a little bit again.
Yeah.
It's apparently developing a game studio that is helmed by an ex-Ubisoft Montreal lead developer. Again, apparently. But it's pretty crazy news. We're not too sure exactly why Amazon is sort of starting to delve a little bit more into video games. It's pretty big news. Jens did think it was for esports sorts of things, so they could get them onto their sort of Amazon like streaming services. Like, obviously, Amazon already owns Twitch, which is a pretty big,
I feel like
video game platform.
It'll have to be integrated with Twitch somehow.
Yeah,
and
I feel like, I don't know, like, developing a game studio is very different than like just owning something that streams video games. Like, it's a very different market, or sort of demographic, I guess. Just because they're two completely different things. Like,
yeah,
are they going to only sell these video games on, on Amazon services, or are they going to be like games that come out in physical boxes that go to stores like an EB Games or a JB Hi-Fi or whatever have you, a GameStop?
I have a feeling it's going to be quite tight within Amazon. Just knowing Amazon,
do you reckon it'd be similar to like the Apple, what are they called? I think Apple Games
Apple
or whatever
Arcade?
It is. Apple Arcade, that's the one where it's like it's just on like Apple TV.
And it's like a subscription where you can get access to the whole days. Probably.
It could be something similar to that.
A move that I could see happening. Like, Amazon has like developed some games in the past. It's been rough for them. They've had a game called New World, which is a MMO, which has been has done well for them, but it's been delayed quite a few times, and it's not out. Hoping to be out in 2021, but who knows? They also tried another game called Crucible, which was cancelled because it didn't really find an audience after its release. So Amazon is trying.
So they're trying to break in. They're trying to break in.
Yeah,
it just
obviously,
seem to be working.
Yeah, obviously with the developer being experienced in Rainbow Six Siege, it'll have to be some sort of online multiplayer type of game that they'll launch.
I mean, you would think, unless they're sort of like just want to completely flip the script and do something that they haven't done before and challenge themselves to be like more creative or something, like I know all these developers, they have like these ideas.
Yeah,
they're very popular, and I can see Amazon wanting to do that because then it would play very well into Twitch, and then being able to like have Twitch multiplayer parties and all these sorts of things. Yeah, because I feel
like Ubisoft has made Hyperscape, which is very Twitch oriented. So I feel like that has maybe sparked something that they want to keep going on that route.
And we have seen that happening a fair bit recently, where a lot of games that are coming out these days have very heavy Twitch integration. What was it? Dead Cells, I think, if I'm thinking correctly.
Yes.
If you signed in with your Twitch account in the game, your chat could basically screw you over, or they could help you and like drop you items or health and things like that, or they could drop enemies. And it's we're seeing a very big shift towards these sort of interactive gaming experiences with not just like the person playing the game, but also the people watching it,
which I love. I want more of that, because I feel like if chat can have more power, it's just great for interactivity, and like it's just better for everyone.
Like, Twitch is already interactive in itself, in the fact that I can watch you play a game from 2 states away and chat to you at the same time, and all
and
sorts
it's all
of things.
live happening right there.
And it's all live, exactly. Like, but being able to also have a hand in what's happening in the game is pretty big. Like,
I hope there's more of that later in the future.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be.
I would think so. Like Dead Cells is a very popular game. And I know a lot of people did use that Twitch function, so I can see it being a big thing in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we can move on. This is a pretty big topic. Microsoft is apparently, allegedly, supposedly in talks to buy Discord.
Yeah.
The ever so popular, like sort of video game chat, texts, messaging.
I think
sort
everyone
of
knows
application.
what Discord is. You must,
yeah, if
or at least
you're listening
heard
to
of
this
it.
podcast and you don't know what Discord is, I'd be very surprised. But this is huge. So I'm going to read, I've got a little bit of a spiel here that I'm going to read off. So Discord is reportedly considering a sale. According to Bloomberg, Microsoft is in line to acquire the platform for more than $10 billion.
It's a lot of dollary dues.
Which, if I remember correctly, $10 billion is more than both their acquisition of Mojang and Minecraft and their acquisition of Bethesda put together. I think it is more money.
I think they're both in
which
the
is
millions.
Insane.
Whereas
I think,
yeah.
Regardless, it's a stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
But this follows a VentureBeat report earlier today, which claimed that the game chat company is exploring options for a sale and that multiple parties are interested. They do say to not get too excited for another large acquisition from Microsoft, though, because one of Bloomberg's sources said that Discord will probably more than likely go public rather than sell, which means
so people can buy stocks.
You can buy their stock on the stock market and stuff that, rather than a private company owning them. It notes as well that it's sort of in the past, Discord has also had discussions with both Epic Games and Amazon, our good friends at Amazon that we just talked about them acquiring them in the past as well, which have obviously fallen through.
Yeah, right.
This would be huge if this went through. Absolutely
I wonder what
huge.
it would mean.
There was a lot of fear in a lot of gamers and stuff that I saw on Twitter, because Discord has been pretty heavily developed for the better part of since it's come out. It's been getting consistently good updates. It's gotten new features pretty consistently, things like this. And they're just scared that when a giant company like Microsoft takes over, all of those feature pushes and updates and things are just going to slow right down,
right?
Because they're such a large company, so it's got to just the cogs turn a lot slower in these sorts of things. And so they're scared for that, for a reason. They're also scared that they're going to use it as a thing to shove Game Pass or just Xbox services down your throat. Because obviously there's PC Game Pass and there's all these sorts of things. And you can also already sign in with your Xbox Live account on both Xbox and PC, and you can link it to your Discord. So there's already, they're sort of already buddy. They're already sort of a little bit of friends, I guess. And they're just, people are a bit scared that it's just going to turn into an Xbox thing rather than just a completely separate video game just area, I guess. I don't know.
It'll be, it's huge if they do get this. But
huge, yeah.
We'll see what Discord thinks, I guess. I mean, Discord's been solid. But yeah, I hope. I've
been using Discord since it first came out.
When did it come out?
The very first day that it came out. Oh, I don't know. It's been years though.
Right.
Years since it's been out.
I'm very new to Discord then.
Yeah. No, I've it was just, just the place to be. People before Discord used Skype to play games. There was TeamSpeak that they would use, but TeamSpeak, I'm pretty sure you needed to have a paid subscription to use. I don't think it was free, from my understanding. So that's why when Discord came out and it was completely free, to do sort of basically whatever you wanted. You could talk to people, you could message, you could, all that sort of stuff. Absolutely huge. It broke ground. And now they've got things screen sharing, and you can video chat with people.
Yeah,
you can
huge.
do all these sorts of things. Especially with a lot of the stay-at-home orders that have happened over the past year and a half, a lot of people use Discord for schooling, Like, you know, I know when I had like a bunch of group projects and things, we all had a Discord chat that we all, you know, used every week to sit in and talk to and do all these work. So it is a massive thing, you know, not just for video gaming things, but just for in general, like in PC life, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Be massive, but
I guess we'll
we
just
can
have
move
to
on, gents.
wait and see. But yeah, we'll talk about the next thing. Moving on to another big company,
My God,
Disney Plus.
Never ending.
So we're going to talk about Black Widow in particular, which has been pushed back from August to July 9th. And hopefully that'll stick.
Hopefully, I think this is the third time that they have changed dates now. I think, off the top of my head, because it's happened that many times that I honestly can't remember. But yeah, the third time that this goddamn movie has been pushed back. But there's a big but and a big asterisk at the end of that. So it's getting released on July 9th in cinemas, but it is also getting released on July 9th as a Disney Plus premiere.
Yeah.
Which is for the Disney Plus subscribers. You're already paying, what is it, $14.99 a month now, I think, or $12.99 a month. It went up a little bit.
They went up, so I think it's 12.
I think it's $12.99 a month now. You're paying that. Disney Plus premiere means you can watch Black Widow on July 9th on day one for the low price of $34.99 Australian dollars. For one viewing, you can watch it once.
No, you can watch it a couple of times.
No, I'm pretty sure you can only watch it once. I think it's like when you buy the Disney Plus premiere, when you buy it, I think you have 48 hours to start it, and then once you start it, I think you have 24 hours to finish it. Like if you start it and then stop it, because it's like, because then you can just like watch it 16 different times. You can like bring over multiple groups of people to all watch this movie. So Disney is losing a lot of money if you did it that way. So I think the thing they do it is, once you buy it, you've got 48 hours to start it, and then once you start it, you have 24 hours to finish it. So having said that, like I just sort of referenced to, the smartest way to do it would be to have like a group of friends come over, like you would go to the normal cinemas with. Like when I go to when we go and see Marvel movies here, all my friends, there's like 6 of us. Every Marvel movie that comes out, we always go day one to go and see this movie. That would be the smart thing to do. Would be invite those people over and like split the cost of it, because then it would be a lot cheaper than a cinema ticket, you know. But then you also don't get like the nice big surround sound. You don't get the nice big screen. You maybe don't get the comfy reclining seats. Like, there's sort of like, you know, little trade-offs and things.
Like
it's
as a household of 2, like we've paid for Mulan and Raya.
Yeah.
And like for me, it was like that's probably what we would pay, probably less, for going to a cinema.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, for example, for me and Emma to go to the cinemas, we've been watching, my local cinema has been showing the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, one every week for the past 4 weeks now. Yeah, it's been great. But they do it in the cheaper sort of cinema part. So it's $14 a ticket, which is cheap. $14, but you don't get reclining seats. It's not as big a screen, stuff like that. What we do when we go and see the Marvel movies is we go to what they call Titan, or they call it Titan Lux or something. I think it's $16 or something like that. So it's not that much more expensive. But you get like the giant screen, you get like the real good Dolby Atmos surround sound, you get reclining leather seats. You know, it's a lot more of an experience. So it would cost the same price for us to go and see Black Widow in cinemas as it would to sit at home and watch it. But like I said, we'd only watch it on our 55-inch TV, you know, with a shitty sound bar. So it's like, you know, it's a whole trade-off, I guess.
I guess they're like, I wonder if it's going to be a new model they're going to try and shift because of COVID. Just like not even in Australia, but for the whole world.
Yeah,
like, we are very lucky that we can go to a cinema.
Yeah. That's one thing I was going to bring up. I feel like this Disney Plus premiere is aimed almost entirely at the US and European audience, because a lot of those countries are still obviously quite heavily affected by COVID and whatnot. I think Germany's going into their third lockdown.
Oh, really?
Like, probably by the time this goes, I think I'm not too sure. So obviously, there's countries out there that still can't go to the cinemas.
Yeah.
Like Jen said, we are very lucky here in Australia that we can go to cinemas, and me and Emma have been going for the past 4 weeks now. So it's like, yeah, I feel like it is heavily aimed towards those markets. But I also feel like once things do eventually go back to normal, touch wood, Disney Plus Premiere is only going to be reserved for things that they
like smaller stuff.
Yeah. So like, I don't know what I would like sort of, I guess, compare them to in terms of movies. Like, I know Mulan was meant to be a big cinematic release, same with Black Widow. But like, obviously they can't. So it's, I don't know what I'd aim it towards, but I feel like they'd reserve it for just very specific films, very specific ones.
Do you reckon
they're not going to do it for everything because they'd lose too much money.
I was going to say, it's the money, right?
Yeah, they'd lose so much money.
Yeah.
And I mean, then you can go ahead and say, oh, it's Disney, they don't need more money. Yeah, but the fact is they don't care about that. They're going to want the money. Like,
I wonder how much money they are making with Disney Plus currently. Like everything about Disney Plus.
We did the math. We did the math off recording. I can do it again real quick.
Because they do Disney make Plus. A lot from movie releases. Like Marvel makes so much money on the box office weekend. Like,
yeah.
But I wonder if it's just so big in comparison to Disney Plus that this is purely going to be temporary than hosting like in the cinema. I mean, you're probably right. I think it must be temporary for COVID.
I 100% think it's just a temporary fix, yeah. I don't see them doing it for the foreseeable future. Like I said, unless it's for a very specific movie, but yeah. I don't.
Interesting that it's one-time viewing. I actually didn't know that. But I guess that makes sense if you were to buy a movie ticket. It's one-time viewing for the $15.
They're doing the same sort of principle that they would do if you went to the cinema. They're just doing it as a home cinema. Like,
it's funny that people find it like when I heard they're going to do this with Mulan, I was like, really? Like, you're going to make us pay on top of it?
More on top of our already paying monthly subscription.
But then you do get it for free at a certain date. It's just Premiere.
Yeah,
you get
eventually,
it early.
I think 3 months.
3 months sounds about right. Yeah.
I think 3 months is the turnaround that they're doing for these sorts of things. I could be wrong.
Painfully long.
Yeah.
Like, I know when Raya came out in March, it was July when it was free. I was like, I can't wait till July.
Yeah. There's no way you would make me wait 3 months to see a movie, let alone a Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah. If you knew
just
it was out.
They're so heavily like spoilerific and, like it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why we made the rule. That's why me and my friends made the rule to go on day one, is so that we could safely browse the internet over the weekend, because people just blurt things out on Twitter. Like, it's,
Game of Thrones was horrible with that.
Yeah.
The last season of Game of Thrones, it was, if you were too late to the party, like during the day, because it's not like Disney where they launch WandaVision launches at 6 p.m. or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then Game of Thrones was like, you can watch it at midnight anytime during that day. And if you had to go to work and all that, Twitter was, you cannot go on Twitter. It was so bad.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing. I would not risk it, like, in any way.
Nah.
Because it's just silly. Okay, so I think I've done the calculation correctly.
Yeah.
As of, I don't know when this was, 11th of February, 2021, so a month ago, basically, there was roughly 94.9 million Disney Plus subscribers, so 95 million subscribers.
Okay.
And let's say by that time, I feel like that's when they would have done the price increase, but I've done my calculation based off the price increase. So if I just times 94.9 million by $12.99, I get a monthly return of $12,327,510,000. So they're fine, you know, like
they're
fine.
Nothing to worry about.
They're fine. Having said that, like, you know, what did WandaVision cost to make? Like fucking millions upon millions of dollars.
25 million per ep?
Yeah. For 8 episodes or something like that.
That's chump change for them.
That's chump change. Yeah, that's chump change. But then, you know, again, you also like take into the fact that there's this giant company that owns like, you know, multiple theme parks, multiple like attractions, multiple stores. You know, all these sorts of like, they probably own a bunch of like filming locations and things like that. Marketing costs. I don't know if you guys understand how much marketing costs for these sorts of things, but it's tons of money. Sometimes it's more expensive to market a movie than it is to shoot the movie. Yeah. Like it's crazy. So they are probably turning around a lot of money, you know, as much as they're earning, but it's, yeah. I guess moving back onto track, because of the Black Widow date change, it's also sort of pushed back ever so slightly 2 other movies that were coming out this year. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has been pushed back to September, and then Eternals has been pushed back to November. Not too big a deal. They're still coming out this year. They're just pushed back ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, yay, Spider-Man No Way Home is still, at this point of recording, so fingers crossed, is still keeping its December release date. That one hasn't been affected.
Okay, great.
Mainly because it's being released through Sony, so they're not really following too much, I guess. But
I wonder if that will mean, because you know how Disney were doing this whole year of every week there's going to be some sort of Marvel thing.
Yeah, I didn't actually consider that. That might throw a whole spanner into it. There'll probably be a gap now.
There's going to be a gap. Unless they're going to fill it.
Damn it. God damn it, Disney.
It's all right. We'll just unsubscribe.
We were so close. Yeah, we were so close. So close. Anyways. Now, Snyder Cut.
This is going to be a spoiler talk.
Cut. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to say. If you guys haven't watched the Snyder Cut yet, the 4-hour-long movie, if you hadn't found any time, which is very understandable.
I don't blame you.
To watch that movie, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, all that sort of stuff. We'll see you next week. Having said that, if you want to stick around, we're also going to talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier and our thoughts on the first episode towards the end. So if you have seen that and you want to stick around for that, come back in a little bit. If not, thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you next week. Snyder Cut.
Yes. You like?
It's 4 fucking hours. 4 hours.
It didn't.
I loved it. I thought it was.
Feel like 4 hours to me.
No.
But we did break
having
it up.
said that, you guys split it up. We watched it. I say all in one sitting, but we did pause it after part 3. As soon as the part 3 title card came up, we paused it and ran to Macca's and then came back and continued watching. So we did take a little intermission.
That's fine.
Yeah,
not that
I feel
long.
like it's the way to go. Though. I don't feel like anyone is going to sit still for 4 hours. You know, it's quite a slog to get through. But yeah, I loved it. I've seen the original one once because I cannot bring myself to watch it again. And having watched Zack Snyder's version of it now, leaps and bounds better. Leaps and bounds.
It was great. Really loved the direction.
They're literally 2 completely different movies.
Oh, 100%.
It's uncanny.
I don't remember a lot about the first one. Not sure if my brain's just helping me get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or if I actually did see it. I might have skimmed through it. I can't remember. But yeah. From the moment of the first scene where it was Superman's scream, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. You just knew.
It's so much more epic is the word I would use. Like, just everything
And
is turned up
dark.
to 11. You know, well, that's the thing. That's the vision that he wanted. Like Zack Snyder has said, he wanted to make it very dark, very moody, very,
And it
you
should have
know,
been that way.
sort
It
of
fits.
depressing. It does. It fits the whole theme, you know, and you can see why he wanted to make it like that
Yeah.
in this version of it compared to what they originally came out with. I think I also remember him saying that he wanted to originally film it in black and white as well,
wow.
which would sort of add to the whole mood and like depressing nature of it and stuff like that. And I think that's true as well, because like we watched it on like I went over to a friend's house because he has Binge, and so we watched it on Binge. But here in Australia we saw our cut of the movie is 3 hours 58 minutes or something. But this is where it gets weird. If you watch it on HBO Max, it goes for 4 hours and 2 minutes.
So we are missing.
And do you know why?
Minutes?
No, it's because here in Australia, for whatever reason, they have sped up the frame rate. So
what?
I think the frame rate on HBO Max was like 23.99, you know, or 0.975 frames per second, so 24 frames per second. I think here in Australia, it was being shown in 25 frames per second.
Wow.
So it's ever so slightly faster. But because of that, like we still got the same cut. Like it's obvious we're not trimming anything, but because it's slightly faster, I think we trimmed like a couple of minutes off. I think I'm not too sure. The math is real weird.
I did notice it was less than 4 hours and 2 minutes, which is what I googled.
Yeah, that's the official runtime. Like if you
that's
Google
so interesting.
Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'll try and find it whilst we keep talking to see what he actually said.
Also, just a side note with Binge.
Yeah.
How dare they not upload a 4K version?
I know, right?
I know.
Like
Stingy.
it had. Honestly, it's 2021. Like
Stephen,
Mr. Murdoch, come on.
Yeah, Bajo tweeted that, and then Foxtel got to them publicly and said,
Wait, really?
Yeah. I think they replied, and they were
wow. I didn't see that.
You can watch this in 4K if you buy the ultimate pack of Foxtel, which is who knows how much.
Yeah, but Foxtel's different to Binge.
No, they're owned by the same company. So Binge
I know that.
is Foxtel.
I know they're owned by the same company. Binge is Foxtel, and Foxtel is Binge. But
Foxtel
they also have
Foxtel.
Different. They also have Foxtel Now, which is another streaming service, which is just like Foxtel things.
Yeah,
like,
no, you have to buy the box basically.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and it's like, who's going to do that for one movie?
I know. It's stupid.
It's so dumb. So yeah, here we go. So he sent me this thing. It's from a Reddit post, which I got up on my phone here. But the guy goes, friendly reminder that all American movies and shows on Foxtel and Binge are sped up by 4% to reach 25 frames per second. Stan and Netflix play everything at native 24 frames per second.
Wow.
So it's super weird.
I wonder why.
How they do it. Yeah, so there we go. On Binge, another screenshot. Binge, the runtime is 3 hours 52 minutes. But if you Google Snyder Cut runtime, it clearly says 4 hours and 2 minutes. It's how
That's
bizarre.
Odd.
Like,
I wonder if
how bizarre.
I wonder if it feels different, or if it's so small that it's so negligible.
1 frame per second is such a negligible difference that I don't think you could sit anyone other than a computer down and like say, look at this screen, then look at this screen, and tell me the difference. I don't think there's. I don't think there's a discernible difference. Yeah, like we're not losing anything. It's not like they cut something out of the film just for us Australians or for us like Oceania sort of people. Like
terrible.
That'd be dumb. But another difference that I noticed, my younger brother, somehow got his hands on a copy. I'm not going to say how. I don't know how. But he somehow got his hands on a copy. And I noticed that his version, I don't think it's our TV, because our TV is pretty bright and, you know, it's a nice Samsung panel. It's a pretty good saturation and whatnot. But his version looked a lot duller. Like it looked like there was a filter over it to make it black and white. Right. It was almost black and white, but there was still like ever so slight bits of color. So it looks like they've just like turned the saturation down or something. And that made me believe that even the HBO Max version that they got was that version with the desaturation effect on it.
Right. And then what we got was...
And what we got was a slightly more saturated version in terms of the color balancing and things like that. I'm not sure if I'm just misremembering what I watched it or things, but yeah, that was one difference that I did notice. And I was like, okay, I wonder if that's meant to be, or if it's just like a bad recording of it, or if it's just like, I couldn't tell. But yeah, that was another thing that I noticed.
Also, it's in 4:3, which is interesting.
You know what? When I first heard that, like a week before it was coming out, someone did an interview with him, and he was like, "Yeah, it's in 4:3," and I sort of did curl my nose up at it at start, and I was like, I don't know, Mr. Snyder, I don't know, man. But after about the first 5 minutes, I was like, you know what? Don't really care. Didn't really affect me that much. I actually felt it was slightly better, because I know it's an over exaggeration, but I feel like sometimes you get like fatigue from watching these things, let alone a 4-hour film. But I feel like you get fatigue if I go on to watch Endgame, my eyes are zapping around from edge to edge of this like ultra wide screen. They're zapping around
if you're in the cinema.
And that's what I mean. So like, if you thought initially it was going to come out in cinemas, it's going to be on this wide format, like, it did sort of just contain my viewing angle a lot, and I didn't have to jolt my eyes around everywhere. But it was also the more sort of, I guess, reasonable excuse for it was that it was shot for IMAX, and it was so that we didn't lose any sort of, there wasn't any cut off or trim from the top or bottom or the edges.
Man,
that's the main reason that it was shot in 4:3. But
I would have loved to seen it in IMAX.
It would have been epic, I feel. Epic.
Especially the sound system. Anyways. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like that this cut, because it's much longer, we got to see more of Cyborg and Flash. Their backstories.
Tons more. Tons.
Which is great.
This was the first thing, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, but this was the first thing that I really hated about the DCEU and Warner Brothers. They were rushing things so much. Like, and I know it's sort of an unfair comparison, but if you compare them to what Marvel and Disney did, each Avenger, bar Black Widow and Hawkeye, had their own introduction, their own movie to flesh out their backstory and give them, their whole character background and things like that for what was going to be the first Avengers movie. So when it came out, you weren't sort of scratching your head like, why is this person here? Why, But when Justice League came out, the only superhero that had gotten their own movie was Superman in Man of Steel. Batman didn't have a standalone movie. He got Batman vs Superman.
Was Aquaman?
So that's not a standalone film. Aquaman came out, I think, after, and so did Wonder Woman. So they got their films coming. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, if someone can, correct me in the comments or something.
Tell us off.
But I'm pretty sure they didn't have their own standalone movie until after Justice League came out. And then Flash and Cyborg didn't even have anything. And so, like, in the original cut, like in the Joss Whedon / Warner Brothers cut that came out in 2017, it felt like Cyborg and Flash just sort of popped up out of nowhere. They were like really shoehorned in. They were like sort of, and it just really bugged me. Because Flash is my second favorite DC character behind Batman.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, Flash is great. I feel like he's just really amusing. He's sort of like the Spider-Man of the Justice League. I feel like he's very lighthearted. He's sort of the comedy portion. He's like, it just So yeah, to sort of see him just shoehorned and thrown in was a bit like, why? But yeah, like Jen said, in this one, so much more fleshed out. So much.
Apparently Cyborg in like general Justice League was never really looked upon as being cool, according to Bajo. But I mean, they finally made him seem cool in this one.
Yeah, they're doing they're doing the same Justice League that started in New 52. So in the comic book run for New 52, they sort of remade the Justice League like lineup. You know, obviously still mostly the same, like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. But they're meant to also have Green Lantern. He's also meant to be part of the Justice League, but he's obviously not part of it at the moment. And then Martian Manhunter is also like on again, off again, part of the Justice League.
We did see him a bit.
We did see him a little bit, yeah.
We saw a bit of a
Cyborg
Green
has
Lantern.
Cyborg's typically been on the Teen Titans and like sort of a younger version of the Justice League. He's never really been a main focus, so that's why they sort of put him in the main one to give him more light. But yeah. And then like Jen said, we did see a little bit of the Justice League. The Lantern Corps in this. But we also, I think I remember correctly, I think we also saw a little bit of the Lantern Corps in the original as well. I think they had the same rough scene of like the battle.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I enjoyed both Cyborg and Flash's sort of like, I guess, deeper dive into the background. I think more Cyborg than Flash, surprisingly.
Me too.
Because I think I've read somewhere, Snyder said in an interview that Cyborg in his vision was meant to be the central part of his Justice League. Like, typically one would think, I mean, just for the film, I guess, like obviously Batman and Superman are still, and Wonder Woman are still like, you know, the trio that are at the forefront of the Justice League. But in Snyder's version, he wanted Cyborg to have a very sort of integral role in the movie. And you can very much see that
he's done a good job
his version. Yeah. It made me like the character so much more. I sort of didn't enjoy the original Cyborg character, I feel, because he was so cut out. Like,
yeah, because you just didn't know much about him.
You didn't get, you got like little tidbits and snippets, but it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But now that they've had the time,
that like
it does.
Cyborg
It makes
is in
sense
the
now.
front because of his dad and how that
and he's
so
literally made from a mother box.
Yeah.
Like it just everything comes full circle now. And it just makes so much sense. Another stark difference that Jen's picked up on was the tone of the music and the score of it. And it's very different. I have to say, me and Emma both picked up on it. I'm sure a lot of other people did.
Are you talking about Wonder Woman?
Did you laugh? Yeah, did you laugh at every time Wonder Woman came on screen?
And it's just
so it was. I saw a bunch of TikToks and things on Twitter about it afterwards. Like, you know, Wonder Woman's on screen for 0.4 seconds. Like, she just walks in the background. You hear, oh wow, and it's like, it just made me laugh. You know, it was so distinguishable to pick up on.
It was
so distinguishable.
Too much. Like, I don't know if everyone had that, and we just picked up Wonder Woman.
No, I feel like everyone. Yeah.
But fuck, it was too much. I didn't like Wonder Woman, like in this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not a fan, really?
She's not my favorite.
She's
I
not
love
my
her
favorite
character.
either,
I think her movement in this was amazing. Like how fast she is.
100%.
That was freaking cool. And the
they
bank
did her
scene was great.
so much better. I saw a shot by shot comparison. I think IGN put it up, but it was a shot by shot comparison of that bank scene from the 2017 version and the new version that we got this year. And the 2017 version, like, it paused it so many times just because they had to cut so much, and they just made her look like shit, I guess, you know? Like when she does that final jump out of the roof to like basically throw this bomb into the air. The one they did in the 2017 one, like she just clears the glass, like ever so slightly clears the glass, and then throws it up like 20 meters or something. So it's like she looks piss weak. In the Zack Snyder version, she jumps like fucking 100 meters past this building, and then launches it even further into the sky. Like, it just makes her character look so much more powerful and so much better.
I definitely think I felt that she was a lot more powerful than I remember her being.
Yeah.
Like, I loved how fast she is. I loved that she was really, really strong in this. But I just don't like Gadot and Gatto, whatever you say. and like there were a lot of upskirts that I felt like wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about that.
Welcome to a modern day comic book sort of, I guess modern day comic book type things. It's, yeah.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't be nitpicking on that. I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just. Okay. I thought she was portrayed much better. She still wasn't my favorite, but I think she was shown to be much stronger. And.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with all that.
I can't stand with that music though.
Oh, it's so good. I wish everywhere I went, I had my own little theme song just playing. Like if I did anything of sort of note, like that'd be fun.
That'd be good.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring note to the whole tone of the score and things like that is because in the they were meant to use. He goes by the name Junkie XL. He's done a couple of like scores before, like most recently, I think that I remember he did the Deadpool, both Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, the scores for those. But I think he was initially meant to be doing the score for the 2017 release as well. But then when Warner Brothers and Joss Whedon stepped in, they got Danny Elfman to do it instead, which is why they're so different in terms of, their musical tone and stuff. It's quite a noticeable difference. It's one of the things I picked up on almost immediately.
Yeah,
was the musical tone of it all.
Music makes such a huge difference. Like,
oh my god,
think about
so
Christopher
much.
Nolan films. Just Dunkirk,
so much.
Interstellar. It's
Interstellar without that soundtrack. You know what? You just said the word Interstellar and soundtrack, and I just got chills down my spine.
Yeah.
Like. It goes so hand in hand with what's being shown on the screen. It's absolutely the next most important thing in filming a movie, I feel.
Yeah. But I'm glad they went to that direction and it paid off. For sure. It really paid off.
It really did, yeah. Another little thing that we noticed, more Steppenwolf.
Yeah. He's cool.
A lot more Steppenwolf. Yeah. I liked him a lot more than I did in the original one.
Whatever the hell his armor is.
You know what?
No?
I'm going to be nitpicky.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be a bitch to clean. That's all I could think.
But he can shed
every
it.
Time,
he sheds it like...
Every time... Yeah, I know. But just every time he was on screen, like his like the sort of chainmail like thing was just like, tweaking and moving a little bit. All I could think was, this guy's got to sit down at the end of every day with like a wire toothbrush and clean the inside of his armor. Like, it just,
I think cleaning
that's my nitpicking.
His least
That's my nitpicking.
worry, but sure. Yeah. I'll give that to you. It's going to collect a lot of dust. I get it.
A lot, yeah. But alongside Steppenwolf, we also got a lot more of Darkseid, which I can't even remember if we got any of him in
I think
the
they
original.
mentioned him from memory.
They
mentioned
him, and I think they showed. I think they showed his like the what do you call it? The mural or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that's
Wonder Woman
called.
finds. Yeah, I think they showed that, but they didn't actually show him as a character. They cut him from the original one. So that was cool to see him.
Yeah,
I really
and it was
enjoyed
cool
him.
to
I feel
see.
Like
it's cool to see Steppenwolf's like motives, just understanding why
100%.
he's doing what he's doing.
Honestly, yeah, in the 2017 version, his motives were sort of just like, why is he collecting these boxes? What's he doing it for? Like why piss all these people off? And this one, because of Darkseid being in it, and then being able to flesh out a lot more of his backstory and Steppenwolf's backstory at the same time, you get to see his motive as to why he does the things that he does. And
that was very interesting.
Made his character so much better. So much better.
Well, obviously we're in spoiler territory, but the moment that Steppenwolf got beheaded, that was so good.
Chills.
The Wonder Woman, when she did that, so good. And when we got to see obviously the black suit, because that's in the same scene.
Yes.
Of Superman. That
black
was
suit Superman appears. Oh.
Did we
Which
see
was
that
also
at
meant
all?
to happen.
I don't remember.
I don't think he was meant to. I think he was meant to be shown in the original, but I don't think they did it. I think they just went, no, you know what? Put him in the red and blue. Put him in the red and blue. Yeah. The black suit Superman is meant to idolize sort of, I guess, in a way, Superman's return to things. Like I think the black suit is mainly because he hasn't been around solar energy for such a long time that it just drains his suit of the color. I think he gets the blue and red from
the sun,
being exposed to the sun, basically. Yeah. It's one of the sort of things, but it's also meant to, like, represent his regeneration process. It's meant to represent like, his rebirth, I guess. There's this whole sort of like thematic reasoning behind the black suit. It's not just because it looks slick, it looks cool. There's it
does look slick.
It does look slick, yeah. Another slick looking character, which I very much enjoyed compared to his original portrayal, was the Joker. The goddamn Joker makes an appearance right at the end in the epilogue in the brand new nightmare scene, which basically does not, like, they completely reshot this nightmare scene, I feel, or they just used the footage that they had in cold storage. But the nightmare scene that we saw in the 2017 version just doesn't exist here. Like, they didn't reuse any of it.
Right.
Because in that nightmare scene, I think it was from Justice League. I could be wrong, and it could be from Batman vs Superman. But in this one, at least, he's in the nightmare with Cyborg. Mera, I think her name was, from Atlantis, is also with her. There was one other character that I'm blanking on. I can't remember, but Deathstroke was there, and then Joker is also there. It's just like a crazy mishmash of all of these characters, and it's just, it makes me excited for if they do continue on this sort of path and this story, how they get to that point. I'd be very annoyed at Warner Brothers if they don't let Zack Snyder continue, or at least continue the story that he's written.
I feel like
to
they
get
have
to these points.
Just seeing the success of Snyder Cut compared to any of the DC films.
Honestly, this is the best thing. This is the best thing that has come out of DC since
the Batman trilogy.
I didn't really like, the only other thing that I've enjoyed, you guess I could say, from the DCEU, if you want to classify it, is Man of Steel. I did enjoy that to a certain degree. I did enjoy, I say in quotations, Shazam to a certain degree. Definitely not up there as with my favorite superhero movies of all time. It's like probably closer to the bottom, if anything. But in terms of DC Expanded Universe movies, it's up there, only for the fact that it doesn't shoot itself in the foot 19 times over in a 10-minute period, But everything else I sort of really have just despised. I can't get behind it. So I really do hope that they let him continue his vision. I don't know if they're going to, though. I feel like...
Why not?
I feel like Zach's not going to want to work with Warner Brothers anymore, and I feel like Warner Brothers is going to want to work with Zach.
What a shame.
Yeah. I feel like... I don't feel like it's going to happen. Sorry. I'd put it this way. I'd be very surprised if it does. Very surprised.
Well, at least we got the cut that we were all hoping to see.
You know what? Silver lining. We did get what we wanted to. So that's, it's enough, I think. What else was I going to say? Having said that, sorry, I do see why Warner Brothers didn't want to put this out in cinemas. Like, if like the executives of Warner Brothers walked in, if I was directing this movie and they walked in and be like, hey, show us what you've got. And you're like, yeah, I've got this 4-hour mega cut in 4:3. It's saturated, like it's desaturated, sorry. It's like all of this like epic sort of storytelling thing. And then sort of Warner Brothers looks at me and goes, you're telling me we're meant to send this out to every cinema in the world, charge people, $14, $15 for them to sit there for 4 hours and watch a film that is in 4:3? Like, people were going to be pissed. And they were going to be pissed at Warner Brothers, not at Zack Snyder, I don't feel. I feel like they were going to be pissed at Warner Brothers. And I feel like it's just too much of a gamble for Warner Brothers to pay all of this money and put out a movie like that, that's so heavily artistic. but is also meant to be a very popular, what's the word? Like main stage movie, you know? Like if Avengers Endgame came out after 10 years, if Avengers Endgame came out in like black and white 4:3, a lot of people would be very disappointed, I feel.
You reckon?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they would. Because it's too artistic for some people, I feel. You know? Like, not everyone wants to go on. Like, we watched, what's the movie? Parasite. Like, Parasite is a very artistic and very sort of thought-provoking film. But because of that, it's not for everyone. You know, you can't just casually sit down and watch Parasite. You've sort of got to be in the mindset to sit down and watch an artistic film.
Yeah.
But like, I can sit down and watch Iron Man, no worries, because it's meant to be a popcorn flick, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, that's what I feel like I'm going for, is like Justice League. Warner Brothers was in the understanding that it was going to be a popcorn flick. It was going to be like this big summer epic movie. You know, but then Zack Snyder tells them, no, bro, it's in black and white. It's in 4:3. It's like an artistic vision. It's 4 hours. Like, it's going to scare Warner Brothers off a little bit, you know? I feel like that's more where I'm going. Like,
I see
so
what
I can
you
sort of
mean.
see, I can sort of see why Warner Brothers didn't want to put it out, but then I can also see, like, why didn't you put this out when you saw what, if you watched the 2017 version and you were Warner Brothers executive and you were like, yeah, this is fine, bro.
Fired.
Like, yeah, fired. Azkaban, you know? Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I see what you mean. I think Parasite might have been a bad comparison just purely because it's subtitled and a lot of people didn't want to watch.
Yeah, I get, it's just the first thing that came to my mind. Like, the other one that I said to my friend, I think the other movie that I compared it to was like La La Land. Like, that's very artistic. It's like, you know, musically sort of thing. It's not like just your easygoing watching movie. It's like, yeah. That's the other one I compared it to, but it's, you know, I don't know.
I guess
I feel like that's,
they just want to make, like,
they want the best bang for their buck. They want the best return on investment. They want, you know, at the end of the day, they're a business. So that's the part that I'm sort of understanding. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. You don't want to take a risk. You don't want to take a gamble. Like, you know, I do get it. Like, but at the same time, like I said, if there's a Warner Brothers executive listening to this and you can wholeheartedly tell me with the 100% truth that you enjoyed the 2017 version better than the Zack Snyder cut, you're delirious.
Yeah.
You're delirious, you know? Like, it's,
I mean, I have heard from some people that they actually liked the theatrical cut than the Zack Snyder cut. So
delirious. They're delirious.
There are going to be some conflicting opinions out there.
Of course, obviously, and again, you know, to each their own, like, you know.
But majority of the world seems to agree that this is the better cut.
So much better.
Anyways.
Yeah, anywho, I guess we can move on to our final topic after ranting. Sorry for ranting for like 30 minutes.
Heated there.
Falcon and Winter Soldier came out last week, episode 1. By the time that this episode goes live in the morning, episode 2 will be out in about 10, 15 hours or something like that. You know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I feel like it was a very sort of slow and like just very much an introduction episode. Like nothing too crazy happened.
100%.
You know? But
yeah,
I really enjoyed, in the span of, what was it, like 45 minutes, give or take, of the episode, in the span of about 45 minutes, they gave us so much more backstory on
it was
both.
all backstory, really.
Yeah, so much more backstory on both Sam and Bucky. So much. And from that, I can sort of see, or at least I feel, that they're going to utilize a lot of Bucky's past in this, and I feel like the main part of this show is going to be Bucky trying to atone for the things that he's done in the past as the Winter Soldier. Yeah, I get that vibe. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really know the synopsis, but I feel like that's going to be,
I think that's a fair assumption from what we have been given on episode 1. Definitely, I definitely have learned that I really loved WandaVision. just the look of it and the feel of it. But this one definitely feels more Marvel, more, your classic
it's what you'd
Marvel.
expect.
Yeah.
Like WandaVision really threw you a curveball in terms of what to expect from Marvel.
Experimental, different.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Whereas this is very much like, they've shot a typical Marvel movie that's meant to be coming out and they've just cut it up into 6 parts. It does look a lot more modern and things.
I loved Bucky's backstory so much.
Yeah, me too. So much.
Especially when you find out that the old man that he was hanging out.
And I mean, it's rumored. We don't know. It's rumored that Bucky was the one to kill his son. I don't think we ever saw him actually kill him.
No, it went blank. It went blank. But then
so it's like he could have sacrificed him or something, and now sort of Bucky's mission is to find this man's son and bring him back to him to show him that he's still alive, or to atone for his sin, basically, and that he did kill him. Like, I picked up on that too, and that was heartbreaking. Like, a lot of Bucky's character is heartbreaking because it's like he did so many bad and evil things.
He's just a sad character. And I really like that.
Yeah, I can get that. It's easy to feel sorry for him and to sort of be very sympathetic towards him because of that. But I feel like a lot of Bucky's sort of backstory in the other movies has been pretty much the same thing. Like he's trying to make amends for the things he's done in the past when he was under the influence of Hydra. And the whole Winter Soldier program and things.
Really cool backstory. So it made me want to watch his that Captain America and Winter Soldier movie.
Yeah. Well, what you could do is you could just go and watch the Avengers Legends? Assembled thing or whatever. Yeah, the Marvel Legends thing, whatever they call it. I forget.
Something.
And you can just get his whole backstory there in like 35 minutes or whatever. Like, that's what I might have to do as well after this. I might have to go and watch that.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good. I don't know if you listener have heard of this, but on Disney Plus, there's like this thing called, I think it's Avengers Legends or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's basically, they've done it for Wanda, they've done it for Vision, they've done it for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, obviously, because their TV shows are out. And they just like show you their backstory and some key highlight moments from the movies. Nothing's new, nothing's shot new. It's all from the movies. And they list all the movies.
Reused,
yeah, they list all the movies that are in it too. So if you ever wanted to watch it, then you can just go back, which is really handy. But yeah, they're really good insights.
Yeah. How long do they go for? Do you know?
They're quite short, like 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Really short refreshers.
Yeah, they're just meant to be little refreshers. Because it has been like 2 years now since we've had any new Marvel things. And the movies that these characters have been in didn't just come out like right at the end of the 2 years. It's been like, 7 or 8 years since some of these characters have been first introduced. So a lot of the stuff, even I forget, being a pretty big fan, and a lot of other people, it's too much information to retain sometimes. So a little refresher always helps.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Falcon's backstory?
I did. Not as much as Bucky's, I feel. And I feel like that'd be the same as a lot of people. But having said that, we haven't really had any backstory on Sam ever.
Yeah, I don't.
Any of the films.
Because we've just met him in the academy with Captain America.
Yeah,
and
we just knew that he was in the Air Force and things like that, basically, who was in like the the military. And that's sort of all we've really known about him, and that's where he met Cap and sort of got his in with the Avengers there. But yeah, we don't know anything else about his like home life, his family, his anything. So it was cool to see that sort of side of him. And I hope we see more as it goes on. Like,
yeah, like Steven couldn't. It's a very Steven thing to think about, but he couldn't let go that an Avenger wouldn't have money.
Yeah,
but then
I mean, I can see that, but at the same time, they also explain that as the thing. Like, they sort of do it voluntarily.
like,
you know,
if you're
like,
in service,
they're not like Tony Stark, where they inherited a giant company that earns millions of billions of dollars a year and has, you know, contracts with the government to develop weapons and you know, all these sorts of things. Like, not everyone has that.
Like, he did think Stark
Sam is
maybe
very
could
much
have
like,
set all the Avengers up financially.
You would think, but again, you know, it's you know, if you think sort of logically, Sam would have just joined the military. Sam would have just joined the military as, like, you know, straight out of high school or straight out of college, you know, as like a young sort of 18 to 20-year-old person. He would have been like, yeah, I could be like, you know, an air fighter mechanic or you know, or a pilot or something like that, you know. And then he got like sort of roped into this experimental wing wing of the Air Force, and is given like sort of these new toys and weapons, you know, like the Falcon wings and stuff like that. You know, and then sort of slowly just starts to become a superhero in that sense. Like, he sort of just fell into the role. He wasn't actively trying to be a superhero, or he wasn't bitten by some radioactive wing to give him these powers. Like, it was just sort of thrust upon him.
But it's also kind of cool.
He was probably just going in under the assumption that he was going to be in the military. Like,
it's also kind of cool as, like, if I were a kid, of like seeing a superhero that isn't a mutant or, like, you know, genetically modified to be a superhero. Like, you can just be in the military, a soldier, and be a superhero like that, you know? Kind of cool to see that.
Do you reckon it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of like pandering to the youth, I guess. Do you reckon the military is like, hey, Marvel, if you make the military, because apparently they've done this a lot in the past. I mean, apparently they've done this a lot in the past, where they're like, hey, we'll pay you like, you know, we'll pay you like this amount of money if you make the military look good in this film. Like, they've done that before in the past.
Now that's ruined it for me.
Like, I don't think they have, because Falcon's backstory has been around since what, like the 70s, the 60s or 70s or something like that. Like, he's been around for decades. So it's like, you know, and obviously they've tweaked his backstory a little bit for the movies, but I don't know. Just you bringing that up makes me think maybe, just maybe.
I mean, it makes, I don't know. I don't want to assume, but I mean, a lot of military films back a couple of years ago were pro-America. It's like, look how great we are.
You watch every American war film. American war film, they always win, and they're always shown to be like the underdog, or like, you know, the unsung hero of a lot of the things, and it is a lot of propaganda, basically. Like Jen said, like, it is a lot of But
I must say, they've made a big change in war movies, like Dunkirk. And
there are ones that are very
1914 or 1974. I can't remember. Those ones, they just solely show you how fucking hard it is to be in the military and like the shit that they go through, which should be the focus. It shouldn't be, oh, look how glamorous this is. Like,
exactly. Yeah, they're glamorizing war 100%. Like,
and so 1914 did a spectacular job, and like, I love that film to death.
Especially war from that time period, which was very brutal, and like, you know, it's, you know,
highly recommend if you've not seen that. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, anyways. Jens goes on a lot about that movie.
It's so good. Have you seen it?
I have not, no, because I'm not the biggest war movie fan. Like,
it's not okay. Don't think of it as a war movie.
I know, and you've told me that before, but it's like,
I'm gonna force you to watch this.
Oh, all right. I'll have to find it somewhere and give it a watch. Yeah,
we're gonna do a Discord watch party. You must.
Force me to watch
you're not getting out of that.
Okay, all right.
What are you doing later today?
I'm down for that. All right.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, the new Captain America in this.
Casey Neistat, you mean? You mean Casey Neistat? I'll put up a photo behind us right now. Tell us in the comments below. Does he not look like Casey Neistat in a helmet?
I did not even... Oh, now I can't unsee that.
It's bonkers. Like...
Wow. Okay.
And I've seen a lot of like sort of memes that it's like, Mom, can we have Captain America? And she's like, no, we have Captain America Home. And it's like, Captain America Home is this Casey Neistat lookalike, dude. Yeah.
I don't like this guy. I've only seen one shot of him. Don't like him.
Literally has not said a word, has not done anything except walk.
Did a stupid wink.
But I'm the same. I'm not a fan.
No.
How rude to take up the mantle.
Yeah.
Of such a heroic character.
I'm really curious what this is going to set up in terms of, is he going to be like a bad guy in this situation?
Is he gonna be an enemy? Or like one of those grey area people where it's like he is meant to be a good person, but he's like sort of targeted as an enemy, I guess. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that does excite me. I'm very intrigued to see what episode 2 does with him.
I did have a quick Google about the Captain America guy, and he does have a name in the universe. I just forget it now. So I feel like there's something
I'm
there
blanking on it.
that we're
it's
gonna
not
find out.
US. It's not US agent. I don't think there's some other title that he goes by.
Right.
So he is like an actual hero in the comics and things. So it's they're not just making it up for the sake of making it up, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see where they go with it all, especially the whole conflict between him and Sam, because he only has that shield because Sam couldn't bring himself to carry the same thing that basically his best friend and hero carried, you know. So it's going to be a big emotional part of the film, of the show, I feel. Sorry.
It's going to be huge. Yeah.
But as an overall, I enjoyed the episode. It wasn't as strong as what I hoped it could have been, but I'm still excited for the rest of the season nonetheless.
Yeah, it's just setting up for the next episode, really. So
Yep.
But yeah.
I feel like the next couple are going to be very exciting. But I guess at just under an hour, 15 minutes, we can sort of wrap it up there. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we do head off though, gents?
No. Nothing in particular, except thank you as always for listening, supporting, liking, subscribing. You know the shebangs. Oh, we're on TikTok.
Yes. How silly. Same as the Twitter account, the Twitter handle, hello_live.
Yep.
Go and hit us up over there. We're going to have little like re-edits of the podcast or some of the gameplays that we've shown up. The video up there at the moment is a re-edit of the Super Mario Maker gameplay that I just absolutely obliterated in. To
be fair, it was a very unfair advantage. Just saying. No. Just saying it was rigged.
Just built different. But yeah, head over there and follow us if you'd like, if you are a TikTok user. But yeah, like Jen said, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And I guess that'll wrap us up for this week. So we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.